Thanks for tuning in. Hi, this is Desiree Duret with Merexis TV, and today we talk about the challenges of the South African polymer market. So a very warm harte welcome to my guest, Paul Gripper, who is the commercial and sales manager in South Africa for Merexis. Paul, it's great to have you here.
Thank you, Desiree.
So you have been working with Merexis South Africa and before MBT South Africa for almost 2 decades, since 2002.
That's right.
You know the market very well. So can you give us an overview?
Yeah, sure. South African market is unique in certain ways, and in other ways it's exactly the same as everywhere else. It's well developed. We convert between 1.75 and 2 million tons of polymer per year, both imported and locally produced polymer. Geographically, we're rather spread out, so we have large distances between our major cities. On world scales, not big, but certainly one of the bigger ones in Africa.
You mentioned imported and locally produced polymers, so
Yes.
can you explain that a bit more in detail?
Yes, it's interesting. We have 2 domestic producers called Sasol and Safripol, who generally dominate the market, both in terms of supply and, unfortunately, pricing. So they make Sasol produces linear low density polyprop and PVC, and Safripol produces PET, HDPE, and polyprop as well. However, there are structural shortfalls, mainly in the linear low and the HD part of the business, and that's where Merexis comes into play.
Okay, can you give us some figures and numbers when it comes to the imported polymers?
Sure. Accurate numbers are rather difficult because of a complicated and recently changed tariff structure. But we are estimating between 100 and 125 kilotons of linear are imported per annum, and between 110 and 125 kilotons of high-density polyethylene are imported per annum.
So what challenges do then importers, global players maybe also, face when they have to compete with local producers and maybe even local importers as well?
Correct. You mentioned local producers. Again, we go back to the dominant local producer who sets the price, and that's the biggest challenge. They set the price and we react to the price. In terms of the importing side, there are other hurdles to overcome. I'd say the biggest one is lead time, then Forex, which is the exchange rate movement, and then, of course, the heavily overtraded market we're currently in. So in terms of lead time, South Africa sits right at the bottom of Africa, which is far from US, the Gulf, Arab states, and Southeast Asia. Those are our major import sources. So lead time can take anywhere from 2.5 to 3.5 months from date of order to date of arrival. And of course, in between that time, we can have a massive domestic price movement, which results in losses or gains. On the Forex, even a bigger challenge. We buy in US dollars while we sell in the local currency of ZAR. The local currency fluctuates tremendously against the US dollar. We can have movements of up to 10% in days, if not in minutes, both ways. Poses a serious challenge on getting your costs right. In terms of oversupply, you would think our market is 10 times the size it actually is, given the amount of producers like SABIC, like Exxon, like Dow, our local domestic producers, and a whole range of traders, the likes of Vinmar, the likes of Snetor, the likes of Emerald, the likes of Merexis. We're all competing for a rather small pie.
And how about regional countries? How do they compete with each other? Is that also challenging for them?
It's challenging, but it has its own unique challenges. We have a lot of business in Zambia, Malawi, Mozambique, and Angola. Those are the regional countries around South Africa. The good part is that we buy in US and we sell in US. So we take out the Forex movement. It evens the playing fields versus our competitors. It's a vital part of Merexis' business because it provides a natural hedge against the rand-dollar movement. And lastly, the same competition exists, but our service stands out.
Okay, so it is a highly overtraded market, that's what you made clear. But let's talk not only about challenges, let's also have a look at the opportunities. So what are the advantages of Merexis in this market?
As alluded to before, customer service and relationships play a vital role. And MBT South Africa in the prior years was well known in the industry as being leaders in that department. Merexis will carry that on and improve upon that. We will certainly try and deliver the right material at the right time, which is a challenge in itself in Africa with difficult logistic demands. We have excellent supplier relations in place. We have a strong sales team. We have a good credit control system. And I think those are the factors that give us the slight edge in the regional market.
That sounds good to me. Paul, thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you.
And if you want to learn more about today's topic and Merexis, of course, just follow us on LinkedIn. And for further episodes, just tune into our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.